Welcome back to another episode of the Blitz Season 2. We're back. NFL season's around the corner. I'm joined with my guy Toni. You might have seen him on. He's an actor, podcaster. Does it all, don't you, Toni, bro?
I'm good, man. Thank you. I'm not an actor.
Famous.
Part-time then. Let's
famous Toni.
Ads.
Stop it, man. Stop it.
And also join with us today. You hear him every Monday on our pod. You're like a regular to us. Obviously, Toni likes to call you the founder of Undiluted Media. I'm going to call you the Giannis, unapologetic man. I don't know. We need to get an intro for you now.
You just stop it, man.
Apology.
No, you need to stop it. I'm a big fan of Giannis, but people take it out of context when I say certain stuff. But it's all good, man. Giannis is my guy.
Yeah, man. But for today's show, obviously, there's no basketball talk. We're here. It's the start of the NFL season real soon. Obviously, as much as new things come, all things stay the same. And that's obviously what we saw with the Super Bowl last season, with obviously Tom Brady going ahead and winning another ring. But yeah, let's go straight into this. One of the biggest stories that we had all season, we like to debate about, is starting quarterbacks. And the one that we had on our mind was Mac Jones versus Cam Newton. Obviously, story came out that Cam Newton was released, and now we are going to have Mac Jones as the number one quarterback for the New England Patriots. I'm going to go with you, Toni, to start off with. Obviously, I know you're a big guy where you support Cam Newton. Did you see this coming as in not a release, but with Mac Jones starting? And how do you think this is going to go for the New England Patriots?
In all honesty, in hindsight's all well and good. I didn't see it at first. I didn't think Bill Belichick would have the balls to do it. But when you look at it, they got Mac Jones, 15th, right? Yeah. They got him. You can't not start. Well, you can in a sense, but the Patriots went up for Mac Jones, right? Bill Belichick said, "This is the guy I want." So I feel like all Mac Jones had to do was not mess it up, and he was going to start week 1. And the thing is with Cam he's not a traditional quarterback. He isn't a Bill Belichick quarterback. Do you know what I mean? When you think of a Bill Belichick quarterback, you think of obviously Tom Brady, or just them stiff quarterbacks that are just in the pocket, do what they need to do, let Bill Belichick do the rest, right? Someone that he can mold. And Cam is not that. Cam is an MVP before Belichick. Do you know what I mean? Cam has amazing pocket presence. Cam will run out the ball. He can still throw. Like, if you watch preseason, Cam can still play. And what he said on my Athlete podcast, there are not 32 quarterbacks better than him right now. So it's weird that he doesn't have a job. And I get why he doesn't have a job, because he didn't have the greatest of seasons last season. But looking back at it now, if Belichick wants a QB that he can mold into his little system QB and do whatever he wants to do, Mac Jones is your guy. All Mac Jones had to do was not mess up during the preseason, and he didn't. And he looks pretty decent. Well, he had over 300 yards throwing in a couple games, so like it's not bad. It's unfortunate for Cam because now he doesn't have a job, and it's going to be hard for him to find one. I feel like I would take him at Denver right now. I think he's still a better quarterback than Teddy Bridgewater, but that's just my opinion. So Cam will find a job, but it's weird. It's a weird one. But then again, if you think about Bill Belichick and what he's like, is it really a weird one? Do you know what I mean? Like, you could see Mac Jones. I did think Mac Jones was gonna come in eventually if Cam messed up a couple of games, but I didn't expect him to do it straight from the back week 1. That's my guy. But he's done it. He's put his chips on the table, and we'll see how it goes.
I think I'm going to go with you, Sam, because the way I look at it for me is, I think where Toni sees Cam Newton as an old MVP guy, I think for me, you're looking at it more from on his brand name and reputation. I personally, I've said it for a while, I don't think Cam Newton is that guy anymore. I think certain quarterbacks or even teams or legacies get built on, you have a little window and then afterwards, that's it, you disappear. I feel like Cam had that window with Carolina, and then the aura of Cam Newton has kind of disappeared to where he's just a good quarterback. I understand the idea of 32, 31 quarterbacks not being better than him, and there'll be teams like, for example, Andy Dalton's not better than Cam Newton. But at the same time, are you going to then invest in Cam Newton when you know at the same time you've got a younger quarterback in Justin Fields who's the guy that you're going to build around? Where do you stand on this Cam Newton debate? Was it the right call obviously we're looking at it from a week one perspective. Was it the right call to cut Cam Newton so close to the season starting, or would you have kept him on considering it's only a 1-year deal?
Me personally, like hearing the news, I was actually surprised because Cam was doing really well. But then on the other side of it, I wasn't, because he had to go into COVID protocol for like 5 days. And they had the same situation where he caught COVID last year. And I believe Cam isn't vaccinated. So that might have even played a part in terms of why they did release him, because if he's not vaccinated and he's had COVID protocol, if he caught COVID during the season, that could, mess up the Patriots' whole season. And I don't really think, Bill's a guy that wants to throw a rookie QB straight into the fire. But obviously, him and Coach Saban, they're really cool. They're close friends. Got him on the text, so he probably just reached out to him and just said, "Look, just give me some more advice on this. Like, what do you think?" And in terms of how Mac Jones plays, I'm not it's crazy, but he's that Brady prototype, innit? Stiff. He's got that throw. He's gonna dink and dunk. He's not gonna hit any big yards, and I think that's where you're gonna get the best out of the Patriots and Josh McDaniels in terms of running the offense. And I just believe that in what they did, they kind of save face for Cam Newton, because they didn't want to keep Cam as a backup and he's backing up a rookie. The best thing to do is obviously just release him, let him find a team, and then go forward with Mac Jones, because we know Belichick, he's not really a big fan of rookies. So this is a big risk for him. And he probably wants to show, look, you know what, I can win without Tom Brady. I found my new Tom Brady-esque guy. And yeah, I think it's surprising that they did it so close to the season. But I guess they've got full faith in Mac Jones. They saw what he was doing in preseason training, and they probably think he's the guy to go forward with.
And on, I guess, with Mac Jones then, how much expectation, first from you guys, do you have on him to make New England back into a winning team? And how much do you think outside in the NFL sphere itself do you think Mac Jones has that pressure now? Because for the first time, I think in a while, you're looking at the New England Patriots in the division, let alone the conference, as the second best team. And that's something I know, as a fan, I've never grown up seeing or even understanding that. Whereas now I think you do look at the Buffalo Bills and you think you are the number one team, and then New England is the second. And the way for New England to make the playoffs is get a spot as a wildcard team. It's how much pressure do you put on Mac Jones by giving him that spot? And do you think they can go back to winning ways?
I think there's a lot of pressure on Mac Jones. There's a lot, obviously, as Sam touched on earlier, saying that Belichick doesn't trust rookie QBs. And you're right. You look at that division right now, Mac Jones is the third best QB in the division? He isn't better than Tua. Definitely not better than Josh Allen. And so, are they going to be above 500? Probably not. And I know this is the thing. Belichick done a mad one this offseason. He heard the Stone Cold music and said, "Yeah, you know what? Cool. Let me get my offensive weapons, because I clearly didn't have weapons last season." And that was I was even screaming it, "Get Cam help." So now Mac Jones has got these offensive weapons, but is that enough? As much as Mac Jones was an Alabama QB, when he was there with Hurts and Tua, he was number 3. Do you know what I mean? So, and now his Alabama teammate is going to be in his division, and they've got each other week 2, I think, or week 1.
It's week 1.
Week 1. There you go, even better. So you're going to see, and I'm sorry, I've watched Tua since the Elite 11. I feel like he has way more to give than Mac Jones. I haven't watched a lot of Mac Jones, but from what I've seen, I know Tua has way more to give. And there was a reason why Tua was a starting quarterback and Bama and Mac Jones was third string, just having a cigar in his mouth. Do you know what I mean? So, as much as I want to trust Belichick and his system, I don't think they're going to get to winning ways. It's going to be a process. You're not the best team in the division. You're probably not better than the Dolphins right now. Your defense isn't. The only thing that the Patriots have is that they have a lot of people coming back, and they had a lot of people leave them last season, obviously because of players opting out. So in that sense, we're thinking, all right, the Patriots are still the Patriots. But in the wise words of what's his face, Colin Cowherd, you're only as good as your quarterback. So are they going to win the division? No. Are they going to be a 500? No. Could they have been above 500 with Cam? Probably. And that's not me saying, because
I hear that.
Cam is an MVP. And I knew, now hear me out. I'm not saying because Cam's an MVP. Cam's not playing at MVP level anymore. But Cam can still win you games, bro. Like, he can still win you games. And I feel like, especially now when he has better options, I would rather put my money in, like, if the I'm going to use the Max Kellerman thing. If the Martians had the death beam and it was either Mac Jones or Cam Newton, I'm sorry. Give me Iguodala. No, I'm joking. Give me Cam Newton. So, like, I honestly don't see the Patriots doing much this season. But they didn't do much last season, so I'm getting used to it. And I'm here for listen, I've hated the Patriots for ages. I'm here for Patriots slander. Like, this is nice.
I only hated the Patriots for the Brady. Like, I love Bill Belichick. There's something.
I hate both wrong. I hate everything.
Sometimes it's with them.
But yeah, Sam, just quickly on that though, where do you see like the Patriots and Mac Jones for this season? Like, do you put a lot of pressure on them based on the fact that they have released Cam Newton, or is it just a case of, yeah, you spent in the off season, but we'll give you a season for a pass?
I don't think they're gonna be able to get that pass. I do think, to be honest, like, it's actually crazy because I do think the Pats are gonna go over 500, to be fair. I do think they will. And I believe, like, even during the draft, what were they always saying about Mac Jones? He's the most NFL-ready QB in it. And I don't think the Patriots are going to ask him to do anything crazy. They're going to give him protection, playing with their normal 2 tight ends, one wide receiver. And I think he just do what Tom Brady always did. Just take the plays that are given to you, the little 5 yards here, 10 yards there. If you can get a nice deep throw and get a little 20, I think that will help. And I just think that, to be honest, Miami are a better team, but I just don't think they know how to win yet. Like, I do like Tua, and like you said, from back in the day, I've been watching him against Trevor Lawrence and all them guys, but I just don't think Tua's understood the NFL like at this moment of time. And I just think the Miami, they've got a good team, but it's just a quarterback, because we've been hearing the rumors about they've been trying to trade for Deshaun and whatever. But I think the Patriots will probably finish second in that division, you know, make a wild card, and they could easily have a run, because we've seen Baltimore do it numerous times, you know, come through the wild card, you get some rhythm, get some form, and you just start knocking off teams. So the pressure is high on the Patriots. I do think they'll go above 500. And I think Mac Jones is not going to be anything great, but he's just going to be that game manager that, you know, that remote control that you can just control. A Jimmy G, a Tom Brady, and just do what I say, run with the plays, play actions when we can, and just rely on the running game. They've got hella running backs right about now. They got rid of Sonny Michel. So it just shows you their depth chart on running backs is crazy.
I think I'm kind of more leaning on Sam. Like, I think they'll finish second in the division, because I'm kind of with you. I don't really trust Miami like a lot of people, because it's that winning factor thing. And I just think Bill Belichick is more suited to be able to find his ability to win. And I think there's that internal fear in the NFL still, like, okay, they don't have Brady, but they still got Bill Belichick. So they still have something there. But I know we've touched on Mac Jones a lot, this little segment, but I think the next thing I do want to talk about is actually the rookie quarterbacks. 5 quarterbacks went first in the draft. 3 of them are going to be starting quarterbacks week 1. Are we looking at this draft class pool and thinking it could arguably be the most talented we've seen in a long time? And if so, like, where are we like kind of ranking these quarterbacks in terms of the success this season? I'll go to Toni first.
I won't say it's one of the best draft class. I feel like, looking back at it now, a couple of years ago, I think it was 2017, the Baker Mayfield draft class. We had a lot of quarterbacks. We had Josh Allen, Baker, Josh Rosen, where is he now? He's not in the Cardinals anymore, but I think he's back up in, where is he?
San Fran or somewhere, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
Josh Rosen's a backup now somewhere. But looking at, well, this is the thing. I'm looking at the quarterback starting in week 1. So Trevor Lawrence is going to start week 1. Zach Wilson will start week 1, and so will Mac Jones. I don't even think Zach Wilson's better than, I don't even think Mac Jones is better than Zach Wilson. So, like, I feel like Zach Wilson, I know he's been getting a lot of hype right now, and people have been trying to compare him to Mahomes. I'm not trying to hear that just yet. He hasn't played an NFL game. The only one I feel like is going to be a success in his career is Trevor Lawrence. Only because that guy, he's got the intangibles, man. He's got the things that you can't teach. He's got the height. He's got the throw. Like, again, these are the ones I've been watching since, like, his Elite 11 days. And which he actually lost his Elite 11 final, which is Elite 11 is basically the Nike camp that before they go to college. It's like a QB camp for like the most elite high school quarterbacks. So in Trevor Lawrence's year, it was him versus Justin Fields in the final. Justin Fields won it. So again, looking at preseason as well, I feel like career-wise, I think that instant success, Mac Jones might get the instant success only because he has the best team around him. The Patriots have a better team than the Jags and the Jets. So if you're going to look at instant success from week one, it's going to be Mac Jones. But I'm thinking longevity and just who's going to have the better career. Give me Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, maybe even Zach Wilson over and Trey Lance. Sorry, I haven't even mentioned Trey Lance, but Trey Lance is going to be Trey Lance is in a good situation. Doesn't need to start.
He's a project.
He's a project. You know what I mean? If Jimmy G messes up, that's when he gets thrown in, and it can have the Justin Herbert effect. You know what I mean? Like the same way Justin Herbert didn't start last season, came in, went 6-9, but we all look at him and think, oh, the Chargers finally have the QB. This is a guy. Even though I don't trust QBs from Oregon, but that's because Marcus Mariota, and I put my stocks in Mariota. I even got Oregon bucket hat, you know. I put my stocks in that guy, and now look at me. So, yeah, man, I feel like instant success, Mac Jones, only because he had the best team around him. But looking at that quarterback class, I feel like there's a reason he went fifth out of all of them. There's a reason 4 quarterbacks went in front of him.
What about you, Sam? Like, how do you see this draft class? Like, for me, I've said this. I think this could actually be a really, really talented draft class, just because, like, we've got 3 starters already. If you look at Fields and Lance, for me, I expect them to be starters as well, like, very soon in their debut season. So I'm, like, really excited for it. Like, where do you see this draft class as a whole in general, as in for the quarterbacks from the first round?
So in terms of the quarterbacks, I think it's a dope draft class, isn't it? But I think we've spoke about this with Toni all the time, and I think we even spoke about it with you on like different shows and stuff. It's all about the situation that you go to. So as much as Trevor Lawrence is so dope here, he could technically be at the Jags for like 7 to 8 years. So he could basically just become Matt Stafford, putting up numbers in a trash team, but because you're not winning, no one cares about you. So it's kind of hard to kind of say who's going to do really well because it's all about the situation. Same with Zach Wilson. He's at the Jets, trash O-line, poor organization, don't draft well, and their offense is poor. So for me, it's like you're going to have to go to Trey Lance because he's in the best situation, and then obviously Mac Jones as well. And like, obviously, I'm an Ohio State guy, innit? So I've got to say Justin Fields is going to do well. But again, do I trust the Bears? They've been a poor organization for how long? They passed on my homeboy and they passed on Deshaun and they took Mitch Trubisky. Like, it doesn't even make sense. So even his situation isn't even a great one. So in terms of who do I think is going to have success, like instantly or within the next couple of years, I would say Mac Jones and Trey Lance. But in terms of overall, I can't even say because just in terms of where they are, like Trevor Lawrence been at the Jags for 7 years, no one's even going to watch his games. Like, that's how bad it's going to be.
Well, you know, I personally think like the way Trevor Lawrence is coming with the hype, I'm not saying it's like how you see like in the Ball Brothers when it comes to the NBA where you're just watching the franchise even though they are horrible. I do think Trevor Lawrence is that type of guy to be able to attract fans to Jags games because you just want to see him play.
But they're not going to be live on TV though because the Jags are not in a big market, and 2, they're going to be always losing anyway unless they're playing a big team. But even if they're playing a big team, that's just going to be a normal regular game. It's not going to be on Sunday night, Monday night football. So who's even going to be watching these games? Do you get it?
Yeah.
And it's same like Mahomes. Like if Mahomes didn't win a Super Bowl, he would have just been Matt Stafford. Numbers. But you're going 8-8. You're going 6-10. But because he's winning, everyone messes with him. So that's why I just think that's going to be the issue for Trevor Lawrence. If he can get the Jags to start winning and be a contender, like what they did with Bortles, it's a different case. But if you're just putting up numbers and you're going 7-10, 11-6, 6-11, 4-13, no one's going to care about the numbers you're putting up. There's going to be that Justin Herbert's better than him, Kyler Murray's better than him, etc., etc.
See, that's where like I just can't see. I think Trevor Lawrence is that type of guy to be able to get them wins. But yeah, so we're talking about the regular season. Let's go. The first game of the season, I think for the American public, it's perfect. You got Tom Brady at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys, two markets that will just attract big audiences to start off with. So, Tony, I'll go to you. Like, I know it's we're a few days away. Where do you see game week? I mean, this game, as in like as a prediction for yourself, where can it be won and lost?
Where can it be won? I think it's the Bucs' game to lose. Like with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously they've just come back from a Super Bowl, and this is the first time a Super Bowl winning team that everyone has come back. We've never seen that before. At least someone always goes because they feel like. But I don't think people realize what Tom Brady's done to that franchise because no one really should care about the Bucs, right? Jameis was there getting passing yards, and we knew about Mike Evans, but that was about it. But Tom Brady has come in and given these guys a taste of winning so much. So you saw AB crying saying that Brady's giving me my career. Do you know what I mean? Brady saved my career. So I don't think people realize like these guys can run it up. They can run the table. Like you don't ever see a Super Bowl winning team, everyone come back because they just feel like this winning feeling. I wanna do it again. So as much as I love Dallas and I like America's team, if Dallas can win it, they need to get that run game going. Tampa's front seven is ridiculous, but they need to get that run game going. Zeke and Dak need to go back to rookie season Zeke and Dak, which is probably not going to happen. Obviously, Zach Martin's out, so they're Dallas. Because remember when Dallas had the best O line, that's when Zach and Zeke looked good. So Zach Martin being out is not going to help him. That's the only way I can see Dallas winning this game I believe in Dak. Dak can get his numbers. But we need Zeke. Zeke needs to help. Zeke needs to go back to
feed him
his Pro Bowl self. I've seen he's cut a lot of weight, so we'll see what he's like and see if he's more elusive. But if not, I see the Bucs easily winning this one. Easily.
Are you with that, Sam? Easily Bucs winning, or do you think there'll be that Super Bowl hangover that I think, even though sometimes they don't actually happen, I think in the back of everybody's mind it's like a Super Bowl hangover can easily occur with a certain team.
Yeah, no, I hear, the Super Bowl hangover, but yeah, I agree with Tony. I think it's going to be easy for the Bucs, man. Like the Cowboys defense wasn't that great last season. I think the Bucs are going to have a field day. And like Tony said, if they don't get the run game going, it's going to be a problem. Because I don't know if Amari Cooper is going to be fit for the first game. We're not too sure. And then you're going to have to go to CD, and then obviously Gallup. So I just think, look, the America's team, the Cowboys, going to hold that L to keep it and just keep it moving. To be honest, man, like I don't think there's much they can do. Do you know what I mean? Said Zach Martin's out. He was, cornerstone of when he had that great season. The offensive line was just dope. They had the best offensive line in the league for like 2 years, 3 years straight. So that's a big miss. And yeah, I just think the Bucs are just going to enjoy it. And like Tony said, they run it back. They ran it back. They brought back everybody. Like there was no egos. There was no one saying, "Look, I can get more money over there." People saying Shaq Barrett's gonna go. He said, "No, I'll come back." AB came back, and Ndamukong Suh came back. Like Mike Evans restructured his contract because of Tom Brady. Tom Brady restructured it. Like they want to try and do a three-peat if they can. Like win this year, they win next year, just build a dynasty. But yeah, the Bucs have got this, man. Not really much I can even add to it, man. To be fair.
Just quickly then on Dak, because I know we mentioned you guys have talked about Brady. How much rust do you think Dak will have, considering he's coming off a lengthy injury? And how, I'm not going to say nervous, but do you think he will have any sort of like fear in terms of playing that quarterback role and understanding what he went through last season?
I don't think Dak will play with fear, but I've rust 100%. Like he hasn't played this preseason, has he? No.
There was that whether he would be fit or not, then McCarthy just confirmed that he's good to go.
Yeah, he's good to go, but you need reps, man. Like I know the training camp and you go against teams in training and whatever, but you need games, you need reps, you need to get back into the swing of things, especially the quarterback role. So I don't think it's going to affect him that much. Dak is still, you know me, I like Dak. I think Dak's I was going to say top 10. No. Top 15. That's fair, right? That's fair. Dak's a top 15 quarterback, so, but he just hasn't played for a long time, and obviously that injury wasn't great. he's a competitor though. You can see. I don't think he's going to come out of fear. This brother is not going to be sliding. Like if he's going to run, he's going to run into people. You know what I mean? So in that sense, I feel like that could be fine. Just his first couple drives, it might be a bit shaky. That's why I heard if they want to win, they need that running game so that Dak doesn't have to overexert himself. Because you saw that a lot last season and kind of how Dak the Cowboys would suck, but Dak's is putting up crazy numbers because in garbage time he's just overexerting himself because there's no run game. He's like, screw it, someone's down there, or F it, Cooper's down there. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna have the ball out, and we don't want him doing that as much. He's capable of it, but you don't want him doing that as much, especially in the Bucs, not against that defense. So, and we saw the way the Bucs defense got after Mahomes yesterday. If Dak's not on his bike, then bro, it's gonna be a peak. It's gonna be a peak game for him. We saw Mahomes running like I've never seen Mahomes run before. So we'll see, man. We'll see.
With you, do you think there'll be rust? Rust will be a factor for Dak in week 1 or just throughout the season in general?
I think the first couple of weeks there'll be rust. Like that's inevitable. And I think once he gets that first hit, he gets that first completion, he runs out of the pocket, he moves. I think it'll just be fine. It's obviously you're playing in your mind how he got that broken leg against, was it the Browns, I believe? So
I think I can't remember who it was, but it was week 5.
Yeah, that's what he's going to be in his mind. But once he gets that, he gets hit, throws the first TD, does what he needs to do, then he'll be fine. But like Tony said, like there is a lot of rust in it. He's been out for a while. He hasn't really been under any situation of duress or anything like that, playing in preseason and stuff like that. We know training camp is now becoming more like preseason games, but it's still different. Do you know what I mean? So there's going to be rust, but I think give him 3 weeks and he'll be back to normal Dak, just ducking and danking.
So that's kickoff game. Just quickly around the league then. One game or one team that you're looking forward to watching for week 1. Tony, I'll go to you first.
I'm going to be biased here. My Denver Broncos. I'm excited only because we should have got a quarterback. I don't want to regret the decision. I trust the front office. Okay, I'm lying. I don't trust the front office. I don't. But I'm excited to see us because PS2 looks good. And I feel like right now we have a tough division. You got Mahomes in division, you got Justin Herbert in your division, and you got the Raiders. So our defense looks the best. And I feel like what Broncos fans are hoping right now is that we get that no-fly zone 2.0 defense of 2015. That PS2, Justin Simmons, Ronald Darby, all them. We can just get a good defense and take the pressure off the offense because we have weapons. We just don't have a solidified quarterback, which is not the worst case scenario because you can have a solidified quarterback with no weapons. So what we have to do is just not turn over the ball. That's why Drew Lock's not starting. Bring Teddy B. Teddy just throw a couple 5-10s. Let the playmakers play. I feel like Judy's gonna have a breakout season. Cortland Sutton's back, and he's our number 1 receiver. Tim Patrick, you might not know about Tim Patrick, but no drops last season. And that's what our 3rd, 4th option. That's good. That's good to have for a 3rd, 4th option. And then we've got KJ Hamler as well, who can go on the deep go route or play in the slot. So I'm happy right now. I'm happy. I could have been happier if we had Justin Fields because we had a chance to take him, but we didn't. But we decided to beef up our defense because this defense is going to go against Mahomes twice this season, so we need to be ready. And from what I saw in preseason, we went 3-0. We looked really good. PS2 had the highest PFF grade for a corner. So, I can't complain right now. The defense looks good. Offense just has to do what they need to do, and let's win some tight games. So I'm looking forward to. And we got the Giants, man. We can beat the Giants. If you need a confidence booster, you should go against the Giants. So I'm excited for the Broncos, man.
And Sam, with you, quick.
Yeah, I got 2 games: Saints against the Packers and the Chiefs against the Browns. Like the Chiefs against the Browns, especially, that's like an AFC championship kind of game to see who's gonna basically win and run that division. So want to see that, see how OBJ comes back, see what Baker does, because I'm a bit shaky about Baker, shaky warrior. But
what's shaky about Baker?
Come on,
he's just a game manager though, man. Like he's not really running the offense. It's more Stefanski and just the run game. And like I see, man, in the last 10 games, he's just getting 200 yards a game. Like that's a game manager in it. But I just want to see how he does with OBJ coming back, and that's a test for both teams. So it'd just be good to see, man. And obviously for the Saints, it'll be good to see what Jameis is saying.
Yeah.
You know, we've got AK-41, Galloway. So it'll be good, man. So those are 2 games I'm looking forward to.
So just quickly before we wrap up, one word, I'm going to ask you 3 things. First thing, who do you think, very early on, who's your Super Bowl winner? Sam, I'll go to you first.
Let me just go with the Chiefs, man. I was gonna say the Browns, but I don't trust Baker, so I'll go with the Chiefs.
Tony?
Tampa, I think they run it back.
Oh, you guys are mad, you know, you're just repeating. Do you know how hard that is to repeat the Super Bowl again? But I'm going to...
It's very hard, but there's no team has ever come back with every single piece, bro. These guys want to win it again. How do we stop them?
Yeah. Now, do you know what? I'm happy you went with the Chiefs because I'm actually going with the Browns. I trust the Browns to win the Super Bowl this year. Rookie of the... No, MVP. Let's go MVP first. Sam?
You know what? You men are going to laugh. You're going to think it's strange. But I'm going to say, because we need like a narrative, there's agenda, Matt Stafford.
Okay. Tony?
Matt Stafford. Okay. MVP. Mahomes.
I feel like I'm agreeing with Sam with like the agenda thing. I'm going Russell Wilson. If he wins that division, like, and this, you know, you've got to look at him and think
makes sense, yeah.
And he's never been in that. He's never been in that contention for it. It's always been there, and then it's just fallen off. And finally, Rookie of the Year. Sam, I'll go with you again.
Tony can go because I ain't got no clue yet.
Okay.
I ain't got no clue.
Like very
offensive. What offensive or defensive?
Offensive, just offensive.
Offensive Rookie of the Year.
It's
going to be one of the quarterbacks. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to put up numbers, especially when Jacksonville are losing in garbage time. He's going to put up numbers. So give me Trevor Lawrence.
Since Sam don't have it, yeah, I'll just throw a man there. I'm going Justin Fields. I think he's going to take over from Dalton, and then if he can win that division somehow, I don't know if it's possible. Like with obviously Green Bay there, but if he can somehow get them into the playoffs, I think they look at him and think, yeah, you can put up decent numbers, and on top of that, you've won games as well. So I've got to stick with Fields.
Give me Mac Jones because he's going to get the Patriots to the playoffs. So give me Mac Jones, even though his numbers are going to be meaty, but he's gonna be safe in it.
So, no, I can't have a guy getting meaty numbers and getting MVP, bro.
He's gonna get his team. He's gonna get his team to the playoffs, and then he's not a guy that's gonna throw lots of interceptions as well. So he's gonna get TDs and less interceptions. So he's gonna look good, you know.
But yeah, no, I mean that's the way I've looked at it. But this is the first episode of the Blitz. Obviously, before we go, we're gonna have to do the traditional. Sam, shout yourself out, bro. Where can everybody see you?
You can catch us on Instagram, _undiluted_media. You can catch us on Twitter, _undiluted_media1. Tune into the Undiluted Football Show, hosted by yours truly, Tony. We've got a new show called All Things Liverpool, hosted by Anis. So like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and support the page, man. So yeah, that's all good, man.
Yeah, obviously go ahead and literally do all of that for Sam, because like we can always rely on Sam. He's like a great friend of the zone, always reps. Even though some of his takes are a bit hot, but you know, you gotta go with it.
That's you, bro.
I've been right quite a lot of times. But yeah, no, we're gonna wrap this up. Obviously, you guys also need to help follow the Zone on YouTube and on our social as well. Twitter @the.zoneldn, Instagram @the.zone_ldn. We've got a lot more of this content coming up. But She Got Game. We've got obviously the return of the Wreck. So much more YouTube content and gaming. Tony's gonna be doing all the gaming side of things with James. So anything else you guys want to quickly plug or anything at all?
Done it perfectly, mate. All good.
Thank you again for watching the first episode of The Blitz. Also, one more thing. When you guys watch this show, drop comments. Let us know who's got the wildest takes and also like with predictions as well, because we definitely want to get all you guys involved in comments as well. Cool. Yeah, other than that, this first episode of Blitz. Sam, again, thank you for coming on. Tony, as usual, it's good to have you on shows. And yeah, everyone's coming with good drip as well. Peace out, people.